Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users getting focused answers they need from an employment attorney. Today, we have a question that's been posed about 400 times in the past 3 months on YouTube search, and that question is, what should I expect in terms of settlement amounts on my disability discrimination lawsuit? The simple answer is, under the federal laws, the damages are calculated very, very similarly to the way damages are calculated in any discrimination lawsuit in general. And to check out how that is done, you can hit up our damages calculation playlist on this channel, and it's going to give you an idea of the 3 classes of damages: economic, emotional, and punitive, and how to go about calculating them and knowing that when they're in play. Now, I need to give you the caveat here that different jurisdictions have different laws. And some jurisdictions are going to have laws that calculate damages differently, not under the federal scheme, but under the state or the local scheme. And so you need to speak with local counsel because things are different from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Now, once you understand that, you're in a good place. And I can depart from the simple answer and say, hey, in disability discrimination, you can have circumstances that give rise to different calculations of damages than you might see in a race discrimination or a gender discrimination case. Okay? Now, you can run into situations in disability discrimination claims where somebody's earning great money, doing a job that is specifically well suited to their specific circumstances, skills, and disability. And it could be that it's really, really, really hard to find a job that would let them thrive in the way this particular unique job does. I have an example. Publicly filed case, so I can, I'm not going to identify anybody, but I can speak a little more freely. Represented a bridge operator years ago, a gentleman who makes straw bridges go up and down. And bridge operator jobs, super important, because if your bridge operator is not doing their job correctly, listen, boats get messed up, masts from boats get ripped off, cars get wrecked, people die. Like it's a situation. So bridge operators, you might not guess it, but they make a lot of money in some locales, right? In New York, you can have bridge operators making $250,000, $300,000. And we actually have a lot of drawbridges in New York, believe it or not. So, represented a gentleman who's working as a bridge operator very successfully, had some disabilities, and his disabilities and skills were such that it would be really, really difficult for him to find another job that could recreate that $250,000 to $300,000. Just was kind of unlikely to happen. And so we got an economic expert to come in, prepare a report before mediation saying, hey, this person, it's not a matter of time until they mitigate. Like, you fired this person, they lost that $250,000, $300,000 a year because of disability discrimination, and they're never going to make that money again. They can find other jobs, but those jobs would pay a fraction of what this job paid because of this person's specific circumstances and their disabilities. So we went in with this report, and we took it to mediation, and the other side was just like, well, obviously we don't agree with your report. But like in the back of their heads, they were like, yeah, we know that report's true. Like, the economic expert did a really good job. This guy, he's never going to earn like this again. Maybe, right? Like, I'm not counting him out. Really, really cool guy, for the record. Great dude. But like, it was somewhat unlikely, unless he did a big thing in his life, that he was ever going to earn like this again. And he lost this money purely because of disability discrimination, not really in question. There was no, like, he didn't fail in any way. He didn't do anything bad. He wasn't a bad person. Nothing like that. It was just disability discrimination, kind of like upfront. And so we were able to argue, hey, this guy's never going to mitigate. He's never going to find comparable employment. It's never going to happen. And the other side, in terms of their settlement stance, really, really gave way because they were going to go to trial. And when I don't know, 10 years, 15 years more, right? So they were like really motivated to settle, and they cut a really outsized settlement check because, they had concerns about going to trial. And so that in those circumstances, and there's other circumstances as well, you can get really outsized settlements in disability discrimination cases, because sometimes you can just argue like, hey, this person's never going to earn like this again. And that may or may not be true, but we're making the argument either way if we can. If it's a legitimate argument, it's going to carry weight. So generally, disability discrimination cases under the federal laws calculated the same way as all the other discrimination cases, generally speaking. Check local counsel about your jurisdiction and how they're calculated where you are. But as we discussed, there are exceptions to every rule, and we kind of got into one of those exceptions. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this answered your question if you were YouTube searching it. And if you would, like, subscribe, comment down below. Those 3 things really help people see our channel. It helps us to help more people just like you. Yeah, I will track the comments in this video. If you have follow-up questions, hopefully I will be able to provide you follow-up answers. Take care.